So, what's the advice that you have for black people and the new generation coming up?
Yes. Be very careful of social media, particularly those that are owned by American billionaires, particularly those of Silicon Valley. What's happened is over the years they've started to kind of use their influence in a negative way, where they've started to pit black people against one another to try and divide them. And what we need to understand is there is a lot of power and money and influence being used to kind of put people against each other and make it seem like, oh, that African person and the Caribbean person are against each other. If we go back a few years back, this discourse never happened. But the reason why it's happening is because there's a huge amount of resources being used in social media, because we're predominant on our phones to kind of create that divide between Africans and ourselves.
So you're trying to say they are using social media
Absolutely.
mainly to divide?
Absolutely, yeah. Because ultimately we're all on our phones, particularly the kids that are young. You understand? So if you can kind of program it very subtly, very kind of changing the words to say this person is against that, to kind of create the rules within Africa themselves, to kind of say east against west, against south and whatever, it's extremely dangerous. And people need to kind of wake up and understand that there is bot farms, there is huge amounts of resources going into this to really divide our people. So we shouldn't allow that, to be honest, and we should be very mindful of that. And whenever we see, always question the source and say, okay, who is this person? There's normally the good giveaways if it's got an AI profile picture.
Yeah.
It's a fake.
So most of them are botted,
Yes,
pretending to be
absolutely.
real humans.
Yeah. And even the small minority, which are human beings, are kind of being influenced by people because they either make money out of it by creating this discourse, or when you go back, you find that somebody is funding them. So ultimately there is a lot of hate and divide, and a lot of people want that, because ultimately a divided Africa is very easy to control without a shadow over that. Because the concept was always to have the African Union to kind of challenge the rise of China. Now India is rising. After India, it's Africa. But if you divide Africa into smaller blocks, into ethno-states and so on, you're really able to kind of divide people and rule them and conquer them. So that's why.
I appreciate that. So they're using the divide and conquer tactics.
Absolutely, yeah. And just, it's a new age, because at the end of the day, Africa is very important. We understand the value it creates. A lot of these people want the value of not just the land itself, but the people, the culture, the ideas, the philosophy, the soul of the people of Africa. Because that's what it is. It's like, if you're able to do that, you're really able to divide and conquer, but in the new age. So that discourse has to stop.